last call, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap P.O.D. Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike, money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome on in. It's Last Call here with Pub Sports Radio, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Today is Thursday, April the 4th. We are on the swing day to the weekend here. One more day, and it's feet up, cocktails in hand, enjoying the much-needed time off as we dive into this weekend. We're joined again today with my guy, Jose Bouquet, on the ones and twos, and rumor is, we're going to have some news. Oh, there he is. You ask it, here he comes. Right off the top of the show, Jose, welcome back to Last Call.
Wow.
It's a glory to see you here working the evening slate as well. You're working a double today.
Yeah. You know, I'm just like a waitress out there trying to, feed her kids. That's what I'm doing out here, just working doubles.
Well, how has Say Hey Plays been going? How did the morning show treat you? What's going on with the schedule today?
Well, I was and still am on the Tigers. I won the first half of that. Shout out to my guy, Matt Manning, who we capped perfectly. I did add the full game, and I do kind of feel like a jackass because they pulled him kind of early, and I'm like, fuck, all right, well, rolling the dice with these Tigers relievers. Hopefully we can keep it together. But we're on the full game as well. And that brings me to my bet, which I told you, and you were very nonplussed to hear about. I'm also on the Washington Nationals as well. And you indeed are the Pirates, I hear?
Well, it's funny. Yes, I am on the Pirates. And, I'm not a big Pirates fan, so I do get inspired by your raise it up comments. Mm-hmm. Albeit though we're not hearing those today. So very interesting to hear that. I asked Jose before the show. I said, Jose, you're going to give us a live play on the show. At least let me know what it is so I can take a look at getting it in before the show starts. And he said he's going Nationals. And I kindly told him where to go. I explained exactly how to get there. And then I told him what to do when he gets there. So we're going to be head-to-head there, Jose. But look, a live bet right now, I see plus 600s, plus 625s out there. Is that what you're endorsing, or we have a 3.5 at plus 110?
Take the money line. No, yeah, take the money line. I believe in the play still. Whatever. This is how the game rolls out. This is how the game rolls out. I'll trust the reverse line movement. Everyone was on their fucking on the Pirates. I'll take it. I'll be on the Nationals here. I'm waiting for my book to let me bet it. The bastards are not letting me yet. Plus 540 is what I saw. So I'm hoping I can get a good number here. But yeah, I'll take a little bit of action on it again here.
Well, I see it's floating now between 700 and 750. So tremendous value if you're looking for them Nationals to get this thing moving in the right direction. And Jose, while you're here, I know we're going to get into this later in the show. We'll talk more trends and angles and analysis here, but it was very important that we hop off the gate here with a live bet for everybody in the stands today. But Jose, how about this one? Write it down, underline it, and circle this son of a bitch here. The St. Louis Cardinals, the first game of a series, when they're a favorite, guess what they like to do more than anybody else?
Beat the fuck out of someone?
They like to lose, Jose. You were close. You had a 50-50 shot. You had a 50-50 shot out there. We will get the numbers as we roll deeper in the season, but I believe it was 0-17 in their last 17 series going into this last series. Now, they did win the first game of the last series, so they got us in the old bottom mouth on that one. But here we go again today. The Marlins, of all teams who are struggling in their own like, are in a position right now where they're up 5-3 in the sixth inning. So stay tuned, but certainly feel free to leverage that trend as your own the next time it pops up.
All right, cool. And that was the Cardinals' first game of a new series, and the Cardinals are favorite, home or away.
Yes. It doesn't matter at this point. I mean, they won that one on the road, so it definitely was a stronger trend for the road. But I've been playing it kind of straight across the hop either way here. Just fade them in the first game of a series, especially when you see some of these pitching matchups that they're forcing us to watch here in these first games of the series. They're best guys. They're number twos everywhere else on the lineup. So, when you got a number two, you don't have a number one. So that's what it comes down to for me. I was looking at this spot here today, and we saw these boys out there rolling, but of course Miami finds a way to pop it out early. Now Lance Lynn, he's no gem is what it comes down to. And Weathers on the other side, arguably not much better, but we'll see how it plays out as we watch the show, Jose. How's that sound?
Yeah. No, I can't wait. I just bet it again there. I got plus, where the fuck is it? Plus 582 on the Nationals here, full game money line. So it's going to be fun. Full game money line for the Nationals for me again here. I did this with the Yankees. I told Jimmy this when they were losing with the Nationals, or not the Nationals, the Diamondbacks, and they just went on to get hammered 7-0. So what could possibly go wrong? So can't wait.
All right. Well, with all due respect, I can't root for Jose. He's my friend. I wish him success in life. But sometimes you got to take L's to appreciate the wins. And today I'm hoping is one of those days for my guy, Jose. So let's roll on. It's last call with Post Sports Radio. A little treat to open the show. Listen, live betting happens, afternoon baseball. You best get ready for it. You don't want to miss the start of the show for any reason whatsoever. It happens. You can go back and catch the replays. But you're going to miss some of them plus 700 type of live bets that our guy Jose Bouquet's tossing in there with Major League Baseball. You guys know the deal here. Hit the thumbs up. Help us crack this 6 p.m. code. Let them know we're here doing it on the regular. It's not been a glorious week, but that's what happens when we do this every single day. Now, our guests have been firing there. Shout out to LJ from Goat Town, as you guys named him via last call. He had himself a 5-1 day yesterday. And you know what? I did circle back. I know we didn't talk about it on the show, but we kind of penciled it in there. The 13 for the Memphis Grizzlies, unofficially a play that we both locked in on. But how about that Grizzlies money line? How about it? Where else did you hear? Holy shit, this might be a plus 650 live play. And the Grizzlies come back and get the job done. So shout out to anybody that did grab that little action there. By the time I realized it, it was deep into the third quarter. Actually, that's not true. It was about halfway through the second quarter, and I text LJ, and I was like, are they going to win this game outright? And then they kind of lost it, right? They kind of fell down by 8 points in that third quarter. And then they circled back. They jumped up on top of them, and they never looked back again after that. So, make sure you use your ears. That's why I say you got to write these things down. As a matter of fact, there's 3 things we ask you to do when it comes to last call. First is hit that thumbs up button, show the support, and help us gain traction in this market. We appreciate you guys coming in on the regular. Now it's time to let them know we're here making noise. 2, grab a pen and paper. Those are the little tidbits you're going to want to write down. How about that St. Louis Cardinals tidbit? The favorite when they're the first game of a series, fade their asses out there. That's another tidbit you're going to want to write down to take away. And not just from the panel, but our chat. I saw our guy out there dropping some great knowledge. We'll get to that momentarily. Juggler 23 spitting out some stats and analytics. Our guy Joe T, of course, dropping his plays in there. And everybody in the chat drops their great action in there. You're going to want to take notes because it's a long night of sports gambling tonight. And then last but not least, guys, we ask you the third thing to do on this show. Toss your plays in the chat. Let's see what you guys are on. We want to work together to cook these books. We're all looking at the scoreboard the same way. How do we get this money out of the bookies' pockets and put it into our own? Let's see what's going on. Speaking of this sharp chat, we're already rocking here. We already got a live play from one Jose Bouquet. Now, I will share with Jose that the important thing when you're going to analyze lines is making sure that open number's got to be the first, not the second, not the handicapped, the first number on the street. 78% of the bets, 97% of the cash on the Pittsburgh Pirates. It went from minus 112 to minus 120. So keep that in mind, everybody, as we move forward. You want that opening number to be the absolute first. And there's a lot of books out there that do drop these first. I didn't expect to sidebar into this like this, but how about this, though? Make sure there's DraftKings has early prelim numbers out there. They're a nice book that you use for that kind of stuff. A lot of times what happens out there while we're talking about these lines is some of the bigger books, some of the overseas books, the ones that get bigger, sharper action that don't have the limits on the big gamblers, they'll wait for that initial move before they put a number out there. And the importance there is that they're saying they're essentially doing what we're trying to do. They're looking at that line movement. They're looking at the cash flow and they're saying, okay, let's put the number here. and that's handicapping the opening line movement. Now, we're trying to handicap the opening line movement, but we want the opening number, the absolute first number to hit the street. It'll make sense as we continue to do this stuff moving forward, but we appreciate everybody rocking tonight. We got our guy Joe T up in the house here. The first guy in, again, sharing his action. He says, easy NHL bet last night. And tonight he's going with the NHL best bet, the Lightning and the Canadiens first period over. Now we've got four hockey games tonight. We're down to like a week of regular season, so the NHL is difficult, but we're still going to go out there and we're dog hunting tonight. So let's get that big plus money cash. Shout out to our guy Joe T rocking off the hop, giving us that Lightning Canadiens first period over 1.5. And there's Dustin and Jamie H. Says LFG, Guardians, and Tigers. Well, I get down with that, Dustin and Jamie H. I'm on them spots myself. Let's get that cash. And then Talk Sports with JT says, Mikey, what's my guy? Says he's got the Miami first 5 run line, cashed it, and the first 5 over 5, cashed that as well. All these up in the house. Says, what up, DJ? Still playing catch up from a long day at work, but ready to get that cash. Cannot wait, my guy. And there's Juggler 23. I'll pop this up on the big screen here. I talked about this a moment ago. These are the angles and trends that you guys want to certainly take note of going forward. Says here's an interesting trend since 2022. Teams with a win percentage of 55% or better after game number 70. So you got a winning team in the last quarter of the season. We're a little past the last quarter, maybe the last eighth of the season. Who's lost 3 straight are in bounce back spots. They're 9-0 against the spread. And if you think about the essence of that trend, it makes a lot of sense. You've got a team that's winning. They're going down the final stretch. You know, there's a lot of teams that want to play those teams and be spoilers to upset them. But after they string together a couple of losses, they revert back to their overall, which is a winning team, and they find a way to win. They cover that spread 9-0. Juggler 23, my guy. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oldie says, Talk Sports with JT. I see you, fam. Bo Jackson's Pirates looking good. Raise it, Bo Jackson. You know it, my guy. We'll see, though. Subhuman Gotcha says, what's up, Pep? What's good, Pirates? Talk Sports with JT says he's got the Pirates first 5 and the run line. And Bo Jackson going back and forth with them. There's North Ender. Says Mikey Montana in the house. Great to see you, North Ender. Looking forward to hearing some of your hockey plays tonight, my guy. Jay Peasy says, what up, motherfuckers? Twins are losing my only bet of the day. Jay Peasy. Jay, it's all right, man. It's all right. We got plenty of action to get back tonight. Ray Charles in the house. Shout out to Sharpie and that under 5.5 Ks with Pablo Lopez. Good for my guy Sharpie doing what he does out there. Oldie, Talk Sports with JT. I hit Marlins money line plus. It's great to see you guys cashing some big plus money spots, man. That's what it's all about. There's a lot of them opportunities today in the NHL as well. I'm excited to get to the card there with you guys. Winner Circle's got the Harden over 8.5 assists. Man, I always like that Harden 8.5 assists. That's like my Siakam 7.5 rebounds, or back when we were nailing the under with our guy up there in Toronto. And anyhow, let's keep rolling. Let's get after it. Dan Kelly's in the house. Says, yo, upstate. And Trisha M. Hey, y'all. And Mike Money. Let's go, Trisha M. Real Deal Prime says, somebody slap me. And Gagnon says, beef. I'm not sure what I know what beef means, but I think it's what's for dinner. I think it's what's for dinner with beef. But hey, let's go. Hopefully it's a nice ribeye. Nice little marble crusted ribeye for my guy Gagnon out there. Real Deal Prime says, bust, heading to the gym. And Justin McKelvey stacks POD. He's going Reynolds over 1.5 bases plus 114 cash. I think he already got that. If I'm not mistaken. Gagnon says Weathers is, yeah, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's not good. There's no question about it, Gagnon. Jake Flanagan says, smash the like for our guy Pip. Let's get to the window with some tickets. God bless and good luck, y'all. Jake Flanagan, nice positive outlook. I'll tell you, there's a positive winner right there. That guy has a positive outlook on life. Appreciate you, Jake Flanagan. Gagnon says, but I took the Marlins live after Weathers gave up his regular chunk of runs. Looking good. Great spot to live bet there as well. We got a lot to get to, you guys. We got a lot of time to do it. We don't have a lot of time to do it. Let me stop, reverse that, check it back up. Strategic investments in the house. That's Indiana State -3. I'll tell you, India Strategic Investments. Looking forward to having our guy Miggity Mac come in here today because want to see what he has to say about these NIT games. I'm trying not to be biased. I thought Indiana State would bust everybody up in the NIT. But here they go with Seton Hall, so I'm perplexed. Let's say that. I do have a spot that I'm going to nail on that game, but I want to hear what our guy C-Mac has to say about the side. But shout out to you, Strategic Investments. Hope the hot tub's bubbling, my guy. Kelsey says Bruins and Seton Hall for her. Good to see you, Kelsey. Bill McDonald says, Mike, take Seton Hall, much better team. They've been playing better, with the exception of points. Everything else is, free throws, 3-pointers, rebounds. That's the stats that I look for as well. But one game, can we isolate one game and say, screw the stats? I don't know. Dan Kelly says, I was watching the Knicks pregame show on Tuesday. They said Hartenstein's on a minutes restriction, got on his rebounds under 8.5. Dan Kelly, I was on the over. Where the fuck were you with that information? Marcus McCarthy likes Seton Hall. Rick J says, sometimes when a team shows you who they are, you gotta believe it. And says, Marcus McCarthy says, let's go Seton. Subhuman Gaucho, my guy. It's on Canes in regulation. Even money out there. And shout out to everybody that took that Rangers in regulation spot last night. It got ugly. They were down. But because they were down, and this is one of those write it down factors, the team with the rest advantage, where do they shit the bed when they're the underdog or the dog with the tired legs? At the end of the second period going into the third, plus 175 for the New York Rangers when they were down 3-2 to the New Jersey Devils. And then what happens? They go out there and win the game 4-3, I believe was the final score. And everybody that was on the regulation got it cash. My -1 pushed, but there was a great live money spot. So when you hear that trend about the rest advantage there, the second leg of the back-to-back, oh, there's one of those tonight, then you're going to want to make sure you take a note of that for live betting purposes, guys. Educational as much as just what we're on here to get these spots in the book. So Gagnon says, oh, Mike, LOL, I eat sardines. Beef means I'm ready to scrap. Oh, Gagnon, I didn't know that you were a sardine eater, but hey, to each his own. He wants to scrap the bookie. Okay, I got you now. Now I'm on the right page, my guy. And Dan Kelly says, Keegan Murray getting extra minutes with Monk and Herter out. Bo Jackson says Sens can upset. And there's Nasty Nate. Cashed a whole bag of money last night with his Boston. The whole city of Boston was catching dubs last night with my guy, Nasty Nate. Says jumped right over the Shamrocks. Good for you, my guy. Let's go. Let's talk about this game here. We got to recap yesterday. Of course, transparencies of the utmost importance. Then we're going to jump into the NHL. We'll bring our guy C-Mac on for the NIT and the NBA. And we'll get everybody up out of here to go about their night. So you guys know the situation. You're getting out of work. Come try to figure out what you're going to have for dinner. Maybe you're thinking about the cocktail situation tonight. It is Thursday. Thursday's connected to Friday. Enjoy yourselves a tasty beverage. But let us help you figure out where you're going to put your money tonight to get this cash. And first, we got to recap. I just talked about that Rangers -1 spot is a push. Now, good live betting spot, but for show purposes, we took the -1 as a push. Tampa Bay got the W for us there, plus 110 when I got it, but it obviously came down to -105 at showtime. And then the Dallas Stars, certainly the better team, gets the job done at the moment against the Edmonton Oilers. Nice, easy win for that Dallas team. They put the boots to ass in that spot out there. Sadly, Jimmy the Bag has taken the victory from me. He's grabbed the victory from my hands of defeat with that Seattle spot there against the LA Kings. Seattle lost plus 154. Seattle team total over. Got 2 goals. Man, it would have been nice to at least split those two, but whatever. We took a loss in both Major League Baseball games. We got to do better with Major League Baseball. Toronto and the Dodgers -1.5. Every time the Dodgers went up 2 or 3 runs, bam, they're right back in there on them. So that sucked as well, but interesting spot in the NBA. We cashed the Lakers over 236. The same game parlay for the Pacers lost because we did not get the assist from Halliburton. We did cash the OKC Thunder spot there. We had the over in that game. We double lost the New Orleans Pelicans game there, which was great because they were down at halftime, which meant I was able to go in there and live bet them again. And they lost there for me, so that sucked. But we closed out the night with a victory. We got the Suns and Nurkic over 10-plus rebounds for our guy. He got it at the wire, too, so that was a pleasant little victory to get it done. But onward and upward we go. It's difficult taking these L's. Like I said, our guy LJ, though, gave us some big winners, 5-1. The day before that, our guy Billy Briz went out there and damn near swept the board. It's time for me to do our part. And then we've got our guy C-Mac coming in to do his part. So let's jump in. Let's put the skates on, and let's get into this NHL action. Dan Kelly says, I'm getting on the Twinkies right now, plus 2.5 at plus 230. I like that spot. I mean, I'm on the other side of it, but I could see why that play makes sense. Man, you watch that, so as I'm heating up for the RBI season, I'm watching a lot of these guys who's making contact where. whole middle of that order for the Guardians yesterday, just mashing the ball. Jimenez, Ramirez. I mean, any Ez out there. If you had Ez in the last name, you got some run action yesterday. So Resmov says, Pels got me, Suns saved me. Yeah, and shout out LJ had that under in that game as well. Kelsey says, I had Detroit first game today. Woohoo! And Dan Kelly talking about that Twinkie spot. Jay Peasy says, not me. NHL has saved my ass many a day and just might be my savior tonight. Naylor, yeah, Dan Kelly. Naylor as he fucking got it done. It's fun to watch it when those boys can hit. And that Cleveland lineup, I suspect, will be in that situation. Naylor as my guy. Let's go. Let's get these skates on and let's get into this NHL. I told you, we're plus dog hunting tonight. No reason not to in a lot of these spots. Just make damn good sense. I got to move this over here so that I can give you guys the full attention you deserve as we rock these games out. But as we jump into the NHL, let's look at 7 p.m. Eastern. In fact, we've got 2 games in the 7 p.m. slot. We give you my thoughts on the other ones as well. This is a great time of year for hockey. I know there's only a few games left before the postseason, but there's so much to play for, so much at stake with these games. However, 7 p.m. Eastern, the Florida Panthers travel north of the border there. They're taking on the Ottawa Senators. And in comes SpongeBob Vezina Trophy finalist Bobrovsky, 33-17-3. This young man is on the season. Former Flyer. I don't know why they suck when they play in Philadelphia, but he has been spectacular leaving this PHL and the 2-1-5. Korpisalo on the other side, 19-22-4. And we look at the numbers. Here's how you become a Vezina Trophy finalist. You got a 2.46 goals against average and a 91.2% save percentage. Korpisalo on the other side of things, 3.27 goals against average, 89% save percentage. It starts from the goal outward for me in hockey. That's why we've had such a strong season, I believe, that we've had here. Goaltending makes or breaks the bank. Now, that being said, Florida's lost 4 of their last 5 games, but it was that last game that they rested Bobrovsky. They went to Stolars, and for what it's worth, he didn't play great. I mean, you look at kind of what happened across the board. They lost 5-3, but this is their game up in Canada, so they didn't have to go with international crossing customs and all that other stuff out there. They've settled comfortably into the Northern Tour, and on the other side of things, you've got this Ottawa Senators team, which, surprising to me, has been out there kicking the shit out of people. They got a 5-game win streak that finally came to an end against that Minnesota Wild team the other day. Korpisalo is starting for his 3rd straight, and he's allowed 3 or fewer goals in 5 of those games. How do you go on a 5-game win streak? Your goalie stands on his head. That's exactly what's been happening right now. 4-1 in their last 5 games with Korpisalo and the Ottawa Senators. He did allow 3 goals on 20 shots for a 3-2 loss to Minnesota in that last game. So for what it's worth, starting to get a little leaky. On the other side of things, Bobrovsky, I don't know. I mean, this guy here, he's allowed 5 goals on 16 shots his last time out in that 6-4 loss to Toronto. So very difficult situation. But in all fairness, those are 2 playoff contending teams. They weren't just going to roll over and shut down. However, speaking of rolling over, you guys know the deal. It's back. It's Thursday. Guess who the number 1 under team in the NHL is on a Thursday? It's the Florida Panthers. They are 1-15 to the under. They're going under by 2.25 goals. There's no reason to hop off this under train with a 6.5. Now, these goaltenders have been suspect, but we've got both of them. Well, we've got Bobrovsky in the rest position trying to get back to form for the playoffs. And we've got Korpisalo, who's been playing pretty decent in his own right with the exception of his most recent performance. I'm rocking in the under 6.5. It's -120. Again, I'm going to stay on that train until the track buckles in this case here, and it has not buckled, and we have another play next week for that opportunity. So let's see what happens tonight. Under 6.5. We know the last game there was against the Islanders. They were favors against the Islanders, and they ended up losing the game. But I believe it was a 3-2 final. It still went under the 6. Now we're getting 6.5. They don't know what we know. We're going to take that under 6.5. And shout out Bo Jackson. I do think the Senators could go out there and plaster these boys, but I'm going to take the under. It's been good to me. I'm going to stick with it. It's great to my bankroll. Let's roll on game number 2 in the 7 p.m. Eastern time window. We've got the Pittsburgh Penguins. We've got the Washington Capitals. Interesting enough, as I was digging into this thing, somehow the Penguins aren't eliminated from the playoffs yet. This game should have huge importance to what's going on. And if you look at what the Penguins have done, they're 4-1 in their last 5 games. In fact, that one loss that the Penguins have was the second leg of a back-to-back against Columbus. So they played the same team. They beat Columbus 3-2. Then Columbus beat them 4-3. So that being said, pretty simple, pretty straightforward philosophy for me here. Fuck Pittsburgh Penguins. We got Nedeljkovic, 14-6-6 in goal. Pretty solid numbers for this guy. No doubt about it. Then we've got Lindgren, 21-14-6. I don't know. Here we are with coin flip numbers, though. 2.84 goals against average, 90.6% save percentage for Nedeljkovic. 2.84, 90.6. Lindgren, 2.81, 90.9% save percentage. My God, if you write this down and do nothing else with it, when you've got goaltenders that are that close and comparably matched, you got to take the plus money spots out there. We've got these capitals. I'll get into it in a second, but just at the simplest essence of this thing here, we've got two goaltenders that are, sparring with each other in terms of their numbers. It starts in the goal first, and we got the capitals that are certainly viable and playing for that, second wild card spot out there. Nedeljkovic is going to get his third start in 4 days, so he has played quite a bit as of late. They're still, like I said, rolling for the playoffs. He's allowed 3 or fewer goals in 5 straight games. How do you win games? Your goaltender stands on his head. 4-0-1 in those 5-game stretch. That's why they're still alive in the playoffs. He did have 23 saves on 26 shots and a 6-3 win against the New Jersey Devils. The Capitals, though, and this is where teams dump the truck. The first game of a back-to-back for these boys out there, it's going to be Lindgren's 6th straight start. So he's lost 3 in a row. He does not have some of the best goaltending numbers out there, 5 or more goals in 2 games. Yikes! 6 goals and 31 shots for a 6-2 loss to Buffalo. But the second wild card spot in the NHL is on the line. A couple years back, they made the move, and I think it's a great move out there where they started to add these 2 wild card situations in the NHL. And now we've got these 2 teams, playoff battle going for it right now. What do we do when we have the Penguins? Here's one you want to write down. When the Penguins are lined between a -110 and a -185, and they're off a win of 2 or more goals, you fade them. They're 3-18 in those spots out there. We got this Capitals. We got them plus 105. I expect them to bounce back. Lindgren has not been playing great, but both these goaltenders comparably matched, almost equal amounts of rest when you look at these 2 in spots in the net out there. Washington desperately needs a bounce back. We just heard all the hubbub about what Sidney Crosby's done, tying records with Wayne Gretzky. Ovechkin should be ready to fire here. Coming back home after a tough schedule there. Toronto, then Boston. That Sabres loss definitely was an L. But prior to that, though, they were on themselves a nice little winning streak as well. So give me a plus money spot. Washington Capitals plus 105. We move onward as we keep rolling across the NHL. 2 more games in hockey. Then we're going to bust into college basketball and dive into the NBA. Kelsey says bases are loaded for that Twins game. Well, I hope they do what the Twins do. I hope they do exactly what the Twins do out there, and that is find a way to get a double play and not get any runs on the card. So let's roll on. Kelsey says, best of luck, Mikey. And Marcus McCarthy's on the Penguins. Okay. Cal 707 Bear. There's a name I haven't seen up in this chat prior to. My guy, good to see you. Says Caps 20-11 against the spread at home. Yeah, the Caps are definitely a better home team than they are on the road. So I think this is a great opportunity. Now the line has moved, for what that's worth, but you got 99% of the money. I don't want to be anywhere there's times I'm involved with it. I guess I shouldn't say I don't want to be anywhere near it, but in this case here, I don't want to be anywhere near a spot that's got 99% of the cash. Dog to favorite. They open up as a dog for a reason. We'll go Caps and let's roll onward and upward. We're going to go right on down the line here. We got ourselves a little Canadian battle royale. The Calgary Flames, the Winnipeg Jets right now in this spot here, 8 p.m. Eastern. We got ourselves a Canadian battle in these boys with Dustin Wolf, AHL, Dustin Wolf going in goal, 3-6-1 on the season. Then on the other side of things, we've got Connor Hellebuck going in goal. Now, Connor Hellebuck, he was rolling out there with Vezina numbers. They just haven't been able to score goals to get him in the W column. Hellebuck's now 32-19-4. When we look at these guys by the numbers, 3.23 goals against average and an 89.3% save percentage for Dustin AHL goaltender Wolf. On the other side, Hellebuck has now gone to a 2.42 goals against average and a 91.9% save percentage. Wolf's going in for his second time in 4 games. He's lost 3 in a row. He's allowed 4 goals twice, which is definitely Definitely not good, to say the least, right? This guy is an AHL goaltender. But on the other side of things, the Jets had themselves a nice 6-game losing streak rolling, by the way. It was Brussois that was able to plug the hole out there for a 4-3 win against the LA Kings. When you look at Hellebuck, his goaltending numbers haven't been stellar either. 3 or more goals in 4 of his last 5 games. And guess what happens when your goaltender gets lit up like a Christmas tree? You lose. They're 0-4-1 in those spots. He did just come off a game where he let up 3 goals on 27 shots. Surprise, surprise. It was a 3-2 loss to the Ottawa Senators out there. I love this trend here, this angle that I'm rolling with. First of all, you got a team that just lost 6 in a row. No fucking way I'm dropping a minus 220 on a team like that. No way. Then I look at it a little deeper and I say, well, if you had the lead and you lost the game, we've been cashing on this trend out there. We talked about it with these teams that were on the second leg of back-to-backs. They started early. They weren't able to win the game because they got tired and the other team came back. And now they're playing a team that's had an ineffective power play their previous game. So you had the lead. You lost the game. The team that you're playing has an ineffective power play their previous game. They're not scoring on special teams. Those teams are 27-10 in those spots out there. It's also 13-21 to the under. Big play for me on this Calgary Flames team tonight. Plus 185 is down to plus 180s for this Calgary Flames team here. Again, goaltending matchup-wise, they're both struggling in their own right. There's no reason this Winnipeg team should be at that mark here, and at plus 180, you're getting almost 2-to-1 money back on your return. Makes no sense not to take a banger here with these boys to get it done. B. Rocco says, thoughts on the Avs game here, huh? I'll talk about that. Dan Kelly says, bases loaded, 1 out equals just get that guy in from third, and me and Mike are both good. Oh, no. I see the cards there now, 5-4. God, I want to look at everything that's going on right now. Oldie says, I fade the Flames, but not at minus 190. That's right, Oldie. I mean, look, there's a lot of ways to attack why not to play, the other side of this game. But I know Winnipeg just coming off that big win, but it was their backup. So we'll see what happens. I do think that's a lower scoring game as well. You know, the Canadian teams, when 2 Canadian teams go head to head and it's 6.5, they've gone over 75% of the time this season. But when that number's at a 6, they've gone under or pushed 75% of the times this season. And I just shared with you those numbers and why that under 6 makes a ton of sense. Shout out to our guy, MMA Locker Room up in the house. Mills up there rocking with us tonight. Oldie, my guy, let's get after it. Now you guys are going to have to give me the update with this baseball game here. We need the Minnesota Twins to do Minnesota Twins things. So let's roll onward and upward. If you guys like that last one, you're going to love this final game in the NHL slate for us tonight. It's the late night special. Shine the light on us as we roll into this thing because it's the late night special. We're going to take a big plus money spot. We got the LA Kings, the San Jose Sharks out here. We got Red Light Rittich. The St. Louis Cardinals just scored 6-5. All right, so the Kings with Rittich, 11-6-3. Here's the thing about Rittich. This guy was rolling 8-1 at one point to start the season. He's now 11-6-3. He is a backup. He did earn the nickname Red Light. He did start out on fire this season, but we're seeing regression. Then we've got Mackenzie Blackwood going for San Jose. We know that they traded Kaapo Kähkönen out of San Jose, and that left Blackwood to be the go-to guy to get the reps. He's 10-22 on the season, 10-22-3 to be exact. Rittich with a 2.26 goals against average, a 91.8% save percentage. Blackwood struggling, 3.41% goals, 3.41 goals against average, 90% save percentage though. He's stopping a lot of pucks. He just doesn't have a lot of defense in front of him to stop a lot of shots. So he's forced to be the guy to plug the gap. The Kings' big win last night. They put it on the bottom out there. It was a 5-2 win over Seattle. Rittich, here's the thing about this guy. I couldn't believe it. He's either allowed 4 goals or he's gotten a shutout. In his last 4 games, he's alternated 4 goals shutout, 4 goals shutout. That's impressive. I mean, that's impressive to do. It's hard to get a shutout. It's hard to let 4 goals in. I don't get it. That being said, it's Blackwood's 5th straight start. It's a divisional game. You know, Blackwood, despite being 1-2 in his last 3 games, he's only allowed 5 goals in that stretch of 3 games. So he's been playing pretty solid. He did have a shutout against that St. Louis Blues team that's been battling everybody this season here at the end of the season. And guess where we're going to? We're going to go back to it. Who's one of the worst teams on the second leg of a back-to-back in the NHL? It's the Los Angeles Kings. They're 2-8 on the season. They're losing by an average of a goal, which makes sense because they're 2-8. So they did just get that last victory on the second leg of a back-to-back. But got to feel pretty confident here. And I don't want to say, let me take a step back on that. It's a plus 255, right? But there's valid reason for this plus 255. Rittich has been regressing, albeit 4 goals or a shutout. Blackwood, divisional game, coming off some solid performance despite a 1-2 series out there. San Jose's got the opportune time to play spoiler. We know the Kings are in that battle for the wild card as well in the NHL. And I think the bigger game for this Kings team is that next game against Vancouver to close the season out. So, for what's on deck with these guys here, this is a huge opportunity for the Sharks. Look, nothing sexy about this San Jose Sharks team. What are they, 1-9 in their last 10 picks? I get it. I fully understand any apprehension about it. If you want to feel more safe, then, you can take the plus 1.5. But look, I don't think this is a 1-goal game. I think, 1.5 is even money. You're leaving 255 on the table out there with the San Jose Sharks. So I'm rolling in. I'm going to go with that fact that they are the worst team in the NHL in the second leg of a back-to-back. And we're going to raise it up. 7-1. 7-1. Raise it up. That being said, that's going to put a bow in the NHL portion of the show. I'll give you guys the recap real quick here. We've got Florida under 6.5, 1-15 to the under on a Thursday. They're going under by 2.25 goals. We're going to the Washington Capitals in a battle right now for the second wildcard place in the Eastern Conference. The Penguins are in a fade spot when they're a favorite off a win of 2 or more goals. They are 3-18. The Calgary Flames out there, when you have the lead, you blow it, and you're playing a team that sucks on the power play their last game. You're 27-10 in those spots. The Calgary Flames a plus 180. And then last but not least, the shittiest team in the NHL on the second leg of a back-to-back, the San Jose Sharks at plus 255. And let's move on to the hardwood. We've got ourselves an NIT showdown here. Let's see if our guys are ready to come in there and join us here. 6:37. We got plenty of time, 7 o'clock to get this play going. And then the NBA doesn't pop off till 7:30. So we are doing great with the timing of this thing here. I'm ready. I cannot wait to talk about this here. I'll tee it up. I'm sure he'll be ready to pop in for us as well. It's going to be our Thursday guru of the hardwood. It's Miggity Mac. When he gets there, I'm sure he's just dropping a bet in. So we've got Indiana State. We've got Seton Hall. We've got a line that started at minus 1.5. 44% of the bets and 80% of the cash on this Indiana State side of things. And you guys have heard me say it before. We look at the bets and we look at the cash. If you're new here, this is what we do here. This is how we roll at this kind of stuff here. We don't care where the money is. We care about the reaction from the odds makers. That's a big misconception. I hear it up and down across the industry. I don't care where the money is. How do you even know it's true? Well, these are publicly traded companies. They cannot fully mislead the public in buying habits. That's against the SEC rules. So when you got DraftKings and you got FanDuel feeding information in, you got to trust that in the auditing process there's some integrity in these numbers that are coming across the board. Or the SEC would shut those fuckers down, especially gamblers like that in a conservative era that we're in. That being said, when we look at the bets and we look at the cash, we want to see the reaction. The bets typically going to consist of things like your $5 bettors, your teaser bettors, your parlay bettors, player prop spots out there. That all kind of consists of the bets, right? Just think about that as all of the bets, all of the soup. It's the money that we look at. What's come in on the money side of things? Well, generally speaking, bigger bettors aren't going to go out there and put, 10 dimes on a parlay of 6 legs. They're going to take a single game. They're going to say, hey, I want to go up to the book. I got a backpack full of money. I drop it on the counter. They go to the manager over. The manager says, all right, this guy wants to put 10 dimes on Indiana State. It's minus 1.5. Okay, we'll endorse the action. We'll take the action. Then guess what happens? Well, that's what we want to know. That's exactly what this comes down to. That's money and the side and what the books are doing. Let's get to our guy, Miggity Mac Daddy, backstage, ready to rock with us here with Thursday. C-Mac, my guy. How are you?
Mikey, what's going on, baby? How we doing?
Man, just laying it down for everybody there. Let them know bets money. It's not the bets and the money. It's the reaction the books have. And in this case, C-Mac, perfect timing. Indiana State opens up as a 1.5-point favorite. The books have made them a 3.5-point favorite now. 44% of the bets and 80% of the cash on Indiana State. We do have a number that's climbing. It goes from 157.5 to 160 now. 47% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the under. And it's climbed up to 160, C-Mac. What a battle here, the NIT Championship. It's going to be the game under the bright lights, Hinkle Fieldhouse. It's going to be on ESPN. We know we've seen Seton Hall handle Georgia, UNLV, North Texas, St. Joe's. I mean, they're going up and down the pike. On the other side of things, though, Indiana State's taking down Utah. You know, shout out to Billy Briz. The Utes were on fire for my guy, but they got busted up in the second half of that last game. Cincinnati,
the road. Road Utes.
Well, yeah. Road Utes is right there. The fire got put the fuck out on that spot. Minnesota, they took down them Gophers that everybody was high on. St. Mary. I mean, they've just done nothing but beat teams up that everybody loved, with the exception of Drake. That was their last loss. That was eons ago on March 10th. C-Mac, what do you think about this battle here? Full disclosure, my pre-NIT disposition was Indiana State gets the job done and wins the whole thing. What do you think about this game with this now 3.5 points?
Yeah, I think if you got in or, you know, you took them to win this tournament is great. You know, just now at 3.5, I think it's getting out there. We talked about early how good Indiana State, and it's helped them out, how good their shooting is and their free throws and into games, and they've been able to cover in this NIT tournament. Both these teams here, Mikey, basically it's the starting five that's going to play most of the minutes here. We know Conwell, Swope, Avila, very good. Larry. On the flip side, he's not a big guy for them, but Coleman, I guess he's been sick. He didn't travel with them. He hasn't played since the North Texas game, but he's a guy that at least could get some minutes. He won't be there. So basically all these guys will play almost 40 minutes. Dawes, Richmond, Davis, and those three guys have been huge. Like, it's their 4 or 5 for Indiana State, double figures, Dawes, Davis, and Richmond, you know, 15, 19, and 20. And that's basically what they've been scoring, you know, all these games in the NIT. Indiana State has the home, you know, advantage here. It's right down the street. It should be packed at Hinkle. But I can't do it here, Mikey. I took Seton Hall. And you know what? It's a little bit the competition we talked about. Indiana State's beat some good teams, and in this tournament, I think Seton Hall is just a little bit more seasoned in this one. And some of the numbers, you know, are great. If you look at their three-point defense, it's like 308. We know how good Indiana State, they're top 20, whether they make, I don't know what it is, 9 or 10 threes a game. So that could get dangerous in this one. I think also if you don't, I got to think Seton Hall still can score in this Indiana State team. Not that they're bad defensively, but I looked at this team total a lot with Seton Hall, the 78.5. Because I think the game kind of gets there. But one thing Seton Hall's been able to do is kind of lock down these teams in this tournament, keep them under 70. Now, will they do that tonight? Would be huge. Like, that's what Drake did, I think, when they beat them. That game, you know, kind of a bad shooting night. They lose 72-67, I think that was, in the conference tourney. So I took the 3.5. Mikey, I took, and, you know, of course, I take a piece of the money line on the dog here. We'll see. I think this game's good. I might be on the wrong side.
I'll tell you, excellent breakdown. And this is where I struggle with futures, because now I look at these numbers. I got to see what the ticket was paying out. But, you know, here's a position where 3.5 seems like a lot of points now for a team that you look at the numbers with this team with Seton Hall. First of all, I think the Big East, you know, that's all they got is college basketball. So they better be ready to roll. And, you know, then you look kind of down the wire with everything else that's going on. They rebound better. You know, their free throw percentage has been better in the tournament. You know, just kind of all their blocking, their defense, their ability to turn the ball over. They've just been better across the mix in this tournament. As much as I think Indiana State's probably the better team, I think it's too many points to lay at this point here. I'm going to probably be put safe and try to attack the second half and hope that I can catch Indiana State. Like, you know, the last game, they were laying 4.5s and 5s. And at halftime, it was -2.5. So it was a tie game at halftime. And they busted it open and blew it apart. Didn't matter, but I was still able to get the better number. I'm going to attack the under in this game. I'm going to go with the lower scoring opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I see it's moved up now, but it's 160 now. 160 seems like a shitload of points on these guys. Now, you know, you do
big
reference
game.
kind of what's going on.
Yeah,
It's a championship game. You know, so you got to figure they want to play a little more conservatively. They want to hold things down a little bit more, I think. I just think the pace of play here, when we don't see a lot of fast break points, I think is the big difference for these two teams. And because there's not a lot of fast break opportunities. Now, you beat Utah 100-90. Utah dictated pace in that game, and Indiana State showed that they were just a better team. But I think that that Cincinnati game in the Big 12 and their lack of defense, with the exception of Houston, is kind of something that sticks out of my mind. But I think we can see a lower scoring game. Now, that being said, we've got 1-4 in the last 5 to the under for Indiana State, and 2-3 to the under for Seton Hall. So I'm rolling the dice. I'm playing with fire in this thing. But Nasty Nate says he's got Indiana State in the over in a teaser. So he's teasing that down a little bit, probably to 157 or 158, I'm guessing there. But I'm going to go with the under. I'm locking it in. It's moved up 2.5 points now from the original open. And I thought it was a lofty number that they opened with, C-Mac. So I'm going to try to play on a little defense with the championship game theory.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with the total. That could be something I look at live. We get back to it a little bit, the home crowd, so I get it. I think it's just too far. This, to me, was a pick 'em. On the neutral floor, even here, even at Hinkle, maybe even Seton Hall favored by 1. So it's just over the possession. I'm going to take it. I think this is a good game, because I don't see Seton Hall rolling over. So I can't wait. Shout out to the chat, everyone in here. Nasty Nate, my dude. Marcus McCarthy, Bill McDonald, good to see you. Kelly, what's up? Oldie, Justin, Talk Sports with JT, my man. Shout out to all you guys. Hit the thumbs up. That's all we ask for, right, Mikey?
Show the goddamn support. You guys did great last week. 105, I think, was our number. We're at 74.
We need it
yesterday. We need them thumbs up buttons, man. I'm gonna hold you guys accountable too here to the gang. Kelly V, we're gonna move into the NBA. Let's use this as the opportunity to transition on over. Kelly V's action today. She's got a teaser with Dallas under 232 and the Clippers under 226. Thinking lower scoring games here in the NBA. I'll tell you what. Yesterday, C-Mac, I was fortunate. I attacked some overs in the NBA, and I mean, that talk about playing with gas. This NBA since the All-Star break has been under city. So I was happy to cash. I was happy to get that money. But 7:30 though, as we roll over to the pro side of the house here, NIT game should be a lot of fun. 7 p.m. tip-off, ESPN. But as we look at this card, look, I'm going to start with the Sixers and Miami Heat game. D-Mac, I just talked about the NHL. I talked about these teams that are playing for second wild card spots. There should be some great games out there. You look at that Pittsburgh-Washington situation. Them boys are battling for wild card opportunities. The Kings are battling for a wild card out there. Should be a lot of fun. But in the NBA, what we have going on here is the opportunity not to be a play-in team here. The Sixers line opened at +2. It's moved to +3. It's starting to come back to some 2.5s, though. Some interesting late buyback. 69% of the bets, but only 30% of the cash on the 76ers. So kind of a situation where the public loves the 76ers team with the 3, but the bigger money's coming in saying the Heat are on fire. Then we look at the total. It's climbed up 64% of the bets and 72% of the cash on the over. And we've seen it move up a point, but I think the storyline here, they snuck Embiid in that last game out there, and they were able to win, right? They got a nice big 4-point victory, I believe was the final. You look at this card now, Embiid is probable. And it does say now Tobias Harris is going to be out tonight. So I did expect Tobias Harris to be in. I thought he was available, but obviously now he's out. Maxey is probable. On the other side of things, Richardson and Hero are out of this game. C-Mac, the battle for the play-in on the line. How are you getting paid in this one? Are you getting paid in this one? What's going on? What's your thoughts here with this game?
Yeah, I'm off this game. What do we get? I think, like you said, Embiid's going to go, Harris out. I think Maxey goes. Both these teams need to win, obviously for the seeding and the play-in going down the stretch. There's about 7 games left, both these teams. Right. So classic one, we have a low total. This is one I'd lean to the under. We're a little bit low here. In the 2 games this year, one stayed under in the 90s and one just slipped over this total. That always kind of gets me when we're right around here. But that's what I'd be on, is this under. I'd look at Embiid too. His points, I'd be on his over. He needs to step it up. I know dealing with injuries, coming back. They need him the last 4 or 5 games to come up big. I was a little pissed. I love the Sixers against the Thunder, and I didn't pull the trigger the other day. So I was pretty pissed about that. And Philadelphia's been good against the number. Even in those losses on that road trip, they covered. They're 8-2 the last 10. So Tough one here. One thing with the Heat, unless I really love it, even a short number, I don't want to lay points with them. I don't know what it is. Like they've always drove me crazy. Been a little bit better with them the last few years. And we don't have a big number here, but I think this game could be tight and low scoring. Two teams that are slow, two good defenses, top 10 in a ton of categories. So lean under, lean Sixers. Do you got anything in?
I sure as hell do. C-Mac. Let's roll. We got Embiid back. I'm rolling with the Sixers, man. And fuck them points, too. They don't care about these points. They don't want to be in a play-in spot. And this one here has all the writing on the wall of the battle, right? If you kind of look at the situation, the Heat, if they win, they're 2.5 games ahead of Philadelphia and a half a game ahead of the Pacers. So, that's a huge opportunity. If they lose, they are back to the play-in spot out there and probably going to struggle to find their footing to get it done. So you're going to see everything out there. And I'd say that in terms of the importance of how this game starts, because I'm on the first half under 108.5. I think in terms of what we've seen with the Miami Heat at home, their propensity to run more of a slower pace game and try to kind of ball control and just kind of tire teams out is where I see that. So the first half under for me, but I had to roll to the Sixers, man. I think, look, Embiid sent this team a message about 6 weeks ago, and he was like, I'm coming back. And I still couldn't believe it because I was like, man, that's a big dude to take that knee injury that he had and still come back out there. And he did. And they came back. And, I'm not overreacting to that last win. I think that, clearly was an interesting spot for him. But now back-to-back wins. This Heat team, if you kind of look at what they've done, inconsistent with the spread, but we're looking at the straight-up spot here. And I've seen the Heat chunk some shit games up at home when it comes down to tight numbers. So, they're 4-1 in their last 5, but their spread ability is win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And I think in this case here, they're going to take one in the ass. I think this is a good spot for us to jump on this Philadelphia team. And it's plus 130. So it complements my arsenal of plus money plays tonight because it's not Embiid's first game back. I would have faded him being that first game back for Embiid, but that number dropped so damn much that it was like, wow, look at this thing go. And I think that, the defense that the Heat played give me that first half confidence in the under. And I think that we've got the opportunity for these boys to be battling. They're not just going to roll over and go on a minutes restriction because there's too much at stake for this game, in my opinion. So, that being said, both teams
let me hit on real quick. Yeah. Let me hit on something real quick, Mike. I love that. I like that under a little bit, that first half with these two teams, especially at the 108. One other prop I wanted to hit on is Oubre. He's been good the last few games. Harris out, more shots for him. And even with Maxey and Embiid, Maxey dealing with the hip, just could see a little bit more for him. 32 and 25. His points are at 15.5 that I had on here. So drop a little bit from where he's been at with Embiid back in. So look to his points. I've been looking at that all day. I just haven't pulled the trigger with the Oubre over 15.5.
Tight game. Some people like to back off of these types of games, but I think if you can anticipate game flow and try to figure out the strategy of the game, kind of the game script, if you will, I think we position ourselves to get that cash. So I'm rocking it. I'm going first half under and the Sixers on the full game. Anything official from you on that spot?
No, I'm gonna maybe I have a couple spots here in the NBA. I'm gonna look at the under and Oubre. I don't know if I'm gonna get there here.
Gotcha. Well, let's roll another 7:30 game. I don't have any action in this one here. It's the Atlanta Hawks and the Dallas Mavericks with a line that opened at 11. We have 60% of the bets, no visibility in the cash, but 60% of the bets on the Mavericks. It's gone from 11 to 11.5. The total's dropping. We have 55% of the bets on the under. We have no visibility in the cash. And it has dropped now 4.5 points from the original number. Yet the Dallas Mavericks money line is skyrocketing from minus 535 to minus 675. Was there anything from you? Any thoughts from you on this Atlanta Dallas game? I don't want to miss an opportunity.
Yeah, I am on the Hawks in this one. Yeah. When these two teams get together, these games are tight, 10 points or less over the last couple of years. Dallas in a big spot here too, off a road trip where they played well, just lose that last game to Golden State, Mikey, April 2nd. Sandwiched in here, they come back home after the 5-game trip, and then I believe it's tomorrow. They play Golden State. Yeah, tomorrow. A little revenge game. This seems like a sleeper game. Of course, they need to win. Hawks, winners of 6 of 7. Too many points here. I got the plus 12 with the Hawks. I think they get it done here.
I see a plus 12 out there. So, Well, now I'm going to have to give that one some consideration. I do see kind of what you're saying there. Now, the Mavericks coming off that loss against Golden State. I say it, you know what? Shame on me for missing this opportunity because I say it all the time. Toughest place to play after a 5-game road trip is your next game back home. And that's exactly the position that Dallas finds themselves in here. So, wow, I might have to give that a little more consideration. And then you said Dallas, who they have up next? Yes, sir.
They
They've got
Golden State,
Atlanta's, and then Golden State. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Atlanta. Then my app shows Atlanta on April 5th. Then Atlanta April 4th. Atlanta April 5th, and then Golden State April 5th. Safe to say they're not playing Atlanta and Golden State in the same night. It's not a doubleheader that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So big rematch tomorrow night. I gotta gobble these points up. I think they keep it close. And the Hawks. Team I don't love getting all these, just playing better on the road. Not much. They're 36-40. They got the win the other night. I had Bogdanovich. He didn't get anything done after cashing. I've been on a couple of his nights with props. But yeah, Johnson, these guys, Murray, I think they hang around in this game. Just too many. Too much love for the Mavs here.
Oh, man, I think I'm going to have to go back and tail you on that action, my guy. That's a great share. Great analysis of the calendar there. And I see Dan Kelly says Mavs have the rematch at home tomorrow versus Golden State. Definite look ahead spot for Dallas is our guy Dan Kelly. Nasty Nate, Nuggets second quarter, Mavericks second quarter money line parlay. It's exciting to see how Nasty Nate's evolved from the trifecta smashes to incorporating the second quarters. Now I told him the other day those are my favorite looks that he has is the second quarter. So exciting stuff to see. Exciting to see. Let's roll on. Speaking of them Golden State Warriors here we go. Golden State, Houston Rockets, a line that opened at +4 to the Rockets has dropped to 3 now. We've got 56% of the bets and 98% of the cash on the Houston Rockets. 98% of the cash on the Houston Rockets. The totals dropped as well from 228s to 226s. 52% of the bets and 97% of the cash on the under in this one, C-Mac. We just talked about the rematch opportunity and what's on stake here for Golden State Warriors. We've got Houston back-to-back losses. They took a loss at home against Dallas. Then they go up to Minnesota. They take that big L. And Golden State Warriors finding themselves rounding into playoff position, beating up everybody. We know there's no Sengun. There's no Steven Adams. Let's see what happens with this spot. But C-Mac, what are your thoughts on this one? This kind of looks like an intriguing little battle here with Golden State and Houston. Houston, probably the best cover team at home.
Yeah, Houston. I mean, winners of 7 or 8 straight. They dropped the last couple. And depending where you got that, you won that game or pushed. It was a lot of them 7.5. You cashed against Minnesota, that 113-106 the other day. I'm looking to the total here, and that's the under. And one thing I've loved is this Houston defense. They kind of got on a scoring binge there just basically last month, last 2 weeks. But before that, they need to play defense. 2 teams that need to win here, especially Golden State. Golden State has owned the Rockets, too. It's pretty crazy to see the last 10 just going through it. All wins. That was a bad Rockets teams the last few years and great Warriors teams, but still ugly. Golden State needs to win winners of 5 straight. Yeah, as much as Houston's been the money at home all year long, getting points, this one's tricky here. So I stayed off the side. I thought the total here at 228, I believe I got 228.5, which is just too high. I had this number right around 225. So give me the under here. Golden State holding teams to under 100, especially the last 5. Heat, Orlando, Charlotte. They did have a bigger game against the Spurs, but got out of hand 113. 104, that Dallas game, 100. I think we see more of that in this game. Low possessions, low scoring. So I'm on the under.
So I see a 227.5 at -115 or a 227 at -110. -108 for the 227. What do you think?
Take the what was it again?
Under 227.5 is -115, and an under 227 is -108.
I got 228.5, but what's out there? There's a circa here. It's 228.
Oh, do you see it 228.5 still?
No, just 228 -110 here at circa.
Fuck yeah.
There's a couple still out there, but yeah, it's gone down. This has already gone down a little bit. especially lately. Because I put that bet in about 2 hours ago, so it's starting to tick down a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm rolling with Golden State. You want to talk about the numbers?
I get it.
Houston is 13-3 straight up in their last 16 fucking games. I don't even get it. I mean, they were bad up until yesterday, and all of a sudden they busted up 13-3 in their last 16 games. Golden State, you mentioned the situation and how much they've owned them. And let me dig into the NBA and bust a little knowledge out for everybody. When you're the away favorite, you got a streak of 3 or more games in the W column, and you beat the opponent 2 or more times in the last couple of games out there, a line that's bigger than a -3. They're 734 and 503. Surprisingly, it's happened enough that there's 1,200 games of data behind it to measure that thing over the last couple of seasons. And we've got ourselves sitting at a 734 and 503. Now, I know everyone's going to play this game because Houston's so great at home and Golden State just got their win. Enough. Teams are who they are, and this is a spot where I think Golden State comes out there and slaps these boys right in the mouth. Open hand style as well. So it's not even the backhand. It's just a straight up bitch slap right across the center of the face as they get ready to roll in tomorrow and do what they have to do tomorrow. I think they probably care less about tomorrow because it's that revenge spot for them other boys versus this game here. They just want to go out there and beat the team they beat. They're in playoff mode, and they got to go out there and stack W's up.
Yeah, Fernando says Golden State wins today, lose tomorrow. I could see it. And I looked at this too because I've been using it, a lot with these unders. I went full game, but I like that look too with the Rockets. Their team total under as well.
That's
you just want to isolate it.
Sitting at 111.5 for that under, -105 under out there. Interesting. All right, let's go. Let's roll on here. We got a lot to do tonight. Everyone's going to be able to get back at that action and get these bets in before, but we will talk about this Denver Nuggets LA Clippers game here. It is the late night special in the NBA. Not as late as that San Jose Sharks game, C-Mac, but we'll take a little plus 255 sprinkle on them San Jose Sharks. That being said, the Denver Nuggets, the LA Clippers hosting them Denver NBA Championship Nuggets. This line moving on up, -1.5 is up to 3.5, and now 4s. 94% of the bets on the Nuggets. The total moving up despite what we have as reverse line movement. 41% of the bets on the under, 76% of the cash on the under. Yet this thing's moved 3.5 points to the over. And this Denver Nuggets money line is just rolling. -120, now -162. What a battle we have here. We know that when we look at this Clippers team coming off that loss, but again, similar situation, 4 straight road games, now hosting the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets, 5 straight home games, now going on the road for the first time here. Weird scheduling annex that they've created for us here as we look to finish this season out. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, weird game in this one. The Clippers on that road trip get the 3 wins and just have a horrible game like they do against the Kings. Now back here. And they've been kind of that middle of the season run, ATS back to how bad they were early on, the Clippers, just the last 10, 2-8. I think Denver is a little bit of a revenge game. Way back December, Clippers won, though. They haven't played since. And this is a series dominated by the Nuggets. I think you take the Nuggets here early and often. I would even look first half than full game. When I was going through this, I think they get it done here. Kawhi not being there, not good. And I think Gordon and Joker are good to go. They're probable. Obviously, we got to wait. But I think they go. I think Denver here, I'd look to them early, first half. What'd you think?
I'm with you. I'm first half and full game in this spot.
Okay.
Definitely a little revenge or bounce back situation for these guys. Interesting note, though, that I found as I was looking at these two teams and the way that they historically play. How about this? The average line in this game between these two teams over the last 12 games has been 4.5, which is pretty damn near close to what we've got right now. It's a smidge underneath the. I always think about that scene from what one is it there? Where he talks about the smidge of weed and he's got the whole fucking RV full of weed. Anyways, a smidge under that 4.5, and it's sitting at 3.5 now. When these two teams play, Denver is 8-4 against the spread. And they're covering the spread by almost 6.5 points on the margin. So, first half, they're putting boots to ass, and they're going through the full game. So I got the first half at -1.5 at -115. I see the -2s -108. I'm okay with that too. Pick the -2 at -108 to keep the juice down. And then the full game sit at -3.5. And I think it's a good spot to be here. I think this is a great opportunity for these boys. The Clippers, by the way, there's a big fade spot for me with these Clippers when it has to do with them sitting in the situation from that last game. They're coming off a loss as the dog on the road, coming back home after that lengthy road trip is a fade spot for these Clippers as well. So for whatever reason, they don't settle back into LA very well. What do you think?
And they've been the shits. Like they just have been bad at home lately. Before they hit their road trip, before that, they went to Portland and got those easy wins, but they got thrashed by the Hawks, just beat down 110-93. And they come back and lose to the Sixers and the Pacers real bad, 133-116. So, yeah, Clippers not playing well at home. So, yeah, look to Denver early. I love it.
Let's go. You know, we got a couple of moments here. Somebody had asked us about that Colorado Avalanche hockey game earlier on in the chat. I didn't get a chance to touch on it then, but I've got you here, C-Mac. And I don't know if you had a chance to look at this game or not. I know you've been busting up the NHL as well this season. Thoughts here? We've got this Colorado Avs team and the Minnesota Wild. It's an 8 p.m. start, so we've got just about an hour to go till puck drop. Avalanche, can they go out there and keep pace? Or does Minnesota, who's been pulling their goalie in overtime, find a way to I mean, that's just the ballsy move I could see. You want the 2 points, so you pull the goalie to get the win. And they end up taking that loss against Vegas here. They're playing for keeps, but plus 145 against this Colorado Avalanche team. What do you think?
You know, this is a place for the Avs, too, in Minnesota, where they've lost. And we all know the Wild, to where you want them, is at home. I was tempted a little bit with taking the Wild, you know, I'm in this game at home. I just couldn't do it. These games, too, like, are tight usually.
Yeah.
You know, I would go too crazy and don't put a ton of money, but this could be a one where you might want to pull up a little bit on the draw, the Bano draw in this one. This game could be tight. But, yeah, I couldn't get there in the end. I kind of lean over, but I don't know what we get over the 6. What do you think about the total?
I was kind of thinking the under.
Were you thinking the under? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
If you look at how the goaltending's been playing out as of late for Minnesota,
it's been pretty good.
These games with this overtime, they lose to the Kings 6-0 back on March 20th. That was at LA. They lose to St. Louis 5-4, but then they go on a 3-1, 2-1, 3-2 situation. But in all fairness, 2 of those 3 games were San Jose and Ottawa. So I believe it's Marc-Andre Fleury, and he's got rest tonight, but I guess I can't confirm that. Let me just take a peek here. Saves. Gustafsson has been playing even better. And then they've got that Annunen going on the other side of things. I might have to sprinkle Minnesota in that. I don't know how many dogs I want to have on the cart. I can't have a fucking whole cart. Is this going to be one of those days where you wake up tomorrow and you open up your Twitter app and you see that they go, dogs across all sports went 19-1 yesterday?
I would go be not happy because I wouldn't have been on enough. If that happens. It'd drive me crazy.
That'd be one of those days where I got to go, fuck. Anyhow, another question. We got an RBI question from Brandon the Great there. He says, how about Perez, Salvador Perez? Does he go out there and get himself a ribeye tonight? Is he eating red meat tonight? Or is he punting off on this thing here? That's a good question. That's a good 7:40 game that's about to pop off here. The White Sox and the Kansas City Royals. I'm not a Soroka guy. If I was going to pick for this guy to eat red meat or sit there on a vegetarian diet, I'd say he's going red meat eating tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I was looking. I think his RBI is right around plus 110, I believe, in this game. Man, I like the Royals. It's just look at the price here, Mike. I mean, what the hell? You got to lay this with this juice with the Royals. They're a team I want to back a ton. You know who I like? Sally Perez, great. And you don't sometimes get the best numbers with him. Obviously, he'll be, he's in the 3 hole. But Bobby Witt, my guy, he's just been on a tear. That's who I pee on in this one. That guy's just ripping the cover off the ball already and really come to his own in his prime, I think, right now. So I'd look to Bobby Witt. His ribby's right around plus 140. I know he's in the 2 hole, but that doesn't matter. What about where is Jose? Tell him to get in here. Has he got anything on this game?
Jose, get your ass in here. Let's go.
Let's go. Bring the bat. Come on.
Yo, bring the
Fucking
bat
around.
and let's talk some baseball. We got one game on the card.
What do you think? There he is. Bat.
He's got the
Yeah,
bat,
poor-
too.
Bat in hand. It's nice to see you both, Connor. It's nice to see you. I just got bottom mouthed by the fucking Mets. That was disappointing.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah, well, I had the Tigers full game. I was sitting happy. I was like, great. I had them first 5 too. That made it less painful. But I had the Nationals, and I live bet them a little more while they were down 5-1, and that obviously has not helped. But no, I don't have anything on this game. I actually do kind of like Soroka. He gave up 3 runs in like the first inning and then settled in from there, but nothing here for me, honestly.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
Soroka
think about
sucks.
some of
It's tough.
Yeah, I what is it that you like about Soroka? Can you enlighten us a little bit?
Well, Helga's running the think right now. Actually, she's not thinking. So, no. But I'll be honest. I like Soroka because he had that good years in Atlanta, and he's been hurt obviously just for the last like 2 years, and now he's finally healthy, and now he might get a little bit of a rhythm going. He shit his pants in his first inning back, but that was kind of the inning that you would expect a guy who hasn't pitched in like 2 years like consistently to do it. So I'll believe in that high-end talent he had once upon a time, and hopefully now that he's healthy.
Okay.
You know what? And the big deal is, though, the price here with Seth Lugo. I've seen enough Seth Lugo in my time to not want to back him. I mean, at times he's serviceable, especially maybe early on in the year. It seems like he gets tagged as the year goes on. But we'll see if Soroka gets the starts like you meant, Jose. All the injuries he's had over the last few years, can he get 30 starts this year, at least 25, and maybe turn it around?
Oh, yeah. Just him getting just like 10 starts this year 15 starts would be a victory for him. But no, I agree with you. But Mike, I think you've won this round versus the Nationals and Pirates. I think you took this round.
I know we'll have many more battles to go, Jose. So appreciate you being flexible, coming in here, dropping the Soroka info on us, and we will keep our eye. To C-Mac's point, I mean, minus 175, minus 200, that's pricey as hell for this Kansas City team. And I like the way C-Mac attacked this from a hitting perspective. It was Perez or it's Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt's giving you plus 140s, plus 145s, and you're getting plus 110s on the other side. I mean, you need less plus 145s to be profitable. So I would say that Bobby Witt Jr. has definitely been mashing and smashing that ball, and that's an interesting look, boys. So that's going to do it for us tonight, fellas. Closing thoughts, closing remarks. Let's go. Let's hear what's going on with you, Jose. Tell them where they can find you and what's on deck for Say Hey Plays of the Day. Big weekend coming.
Well, obviously, check us out tomorrow with Jimmy the Bag. Me and Jimmy breaking down the card tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Say Hey Plays on the weekend, of course. Connor Mack will be joining me at some point in these weekends, so that'll be nice. I know I just don't want to make Connor wake up super early because fucking 11 a.m. Eastern time's like fucking what, 8 a.m. West Coast or whatever the fuck.
I'll be up though. Yeah, it's you gotta get on the grind.
Yeah. This is the grind period right now for all the cappers, especially everyone capping all the sports. And Connor, obviously when you come on the program, you need to have some wood in your hands. You need to join the bat community with me.
I'm not gonna hold a stick. You hold that fucking thing the whole goddamn time.
A lot of the times, yeah. And then when I put it down, I'll see a comment like 2 minutes later.
Where's the bat?
Where's the bat? Where's the fucking bat? So I'm a winning capper with this bat. One day.
That's what I was gonna say. You're winning with it. That's why you're holding it. Yeah.
Exactly. And then one day I'm gonna just be messing with it like this, and it's just gonna shatter and splinter in my hands one day, and it's gonna be tragic. But yeah, no, it helps. It helps out. So it brings the mojo and the mantras going. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's great, Jose. Thank you for popping in with us. Keep the bat, get the tape gripped up, or get the grip taped up, I guess I should say, out there. And C-Mac, always enjoy having you, my guy. What's going on with you? What's in store with our guy Mac Daddy rocking here tonight?
Just check me out here, Post Source Radio. throughout the week. I wanted to hit on nice Canadians. Tough spot for the Lightning there today. The Habs, I've been on them a ton lately. They've been very, very good. And that one, nice. Joe T needs one more goal. I love it. Let me hit the bets, Mikey. Last week 4-1. Let's do it again here. Hawks plus 12. Come on now. You know, we talked about the spot there for the Mavs. Under 228.5. That's what I got, but I think you're fine. 228, 227.5. In the Golden State Houston game. Seton Hall, that's already popped off. We talked about it, plus 3.5. And of course, I have on the money line, plus 150. And I haven't bet it, but we talked about it. Denver, I'm close. I haven't moved on it. First half there, -2. So there's the 3. I might be on a 4th. Let's cash, my man.
Excellent day, my guy, C-Mac. Love having you here on Thursdays. Love to spend time with you talking about these cards. Kind of free balling today, you know, little free form as we talk about some of these other spots there on the fly. So it's always fun. Thank you for your preparation and professionalism as we try to kick the shit out of these bookies, C-Mac. And I will be in touch, my guy. We got more to come. Shout out everybody up there in the chat for hanging out with us tonight. Dan, Kelly, Joe T, my guy in the house, Kelly V, Rockin' Fernando Mendoza. 8 a.m. is for rookies. I don't know. Marcus McCarthy's rocking with us tonight. There we go, Dan Kelly. Cleveland 4-2 against Minnesota. Abel A in the house there. Yeah, this hockey game's coming off the hop. Big Mastro rocking with us tonight, you guys. Appreciate everybody. Justin McKelvey, Brandon the Great, Bo Jackson, Talk Sports with JT, Lower Alabama Hooper. Let's get it today, guys. Good luck with everybody's bets, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. Last call, Plus Sports Radio. Go out there on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. No cost to subscribe, but you could become a member and then be a part of tomorrow's horse race. Yes, $9.99 a month. You get exclusive show details, exclusive shows for members. You get discounts to the members store out there, discounted merch and everything else. And you get a virtual horse, a virtual pony. And they race twice a week for your chance to win $50 free as well. Appreciate everybody coming. Again, good luck with the bets, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Stay pumping, baby.